Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Talk Network. And as you can see, right on this way, I got to remember, I got to go the opposite direction. Right up there. And then you can tell right there with that being different too. Obviously, you can see it. I'm still pointing it out. But hey, I'm also live also on X, formerly known as Twitter. Also, as I usually do for most of my shows. But this is my very first episode that I will be doing weekly. I'm sorry that I'm an hour late, actually, even though I am starting at 11 a.m. So I'm just happy that I'm starting at the top of an hour. But it usually will be 10 a.m. Central every week for Cincinnati Nightlife, Golden Nightlife Experience here podcast. I'll be talking about the NHL. Of course, I'm a fan of the Vegas Golden Knights, for 7 years for their existence in the NHL, and I certainly have enjoyed, very blessed in regards to the success right away is in their inaugural season, doing so well, and let alone winning a Stanley Cup, period, full stop, as the kids would say. But so that's me, NHL fan of the Knights for 7 years. Previous to that, I was I was going to say seasonal fan, but I'd just say I was a casual, just as much as I talk about casuals and hardcore fans of WWE pro wrestling. The differences and how the casuals might get annoyed with the hardcore fans, and the hardcore fans get annoyed with the casuals in that sport, and that's sports entertainment. But that's in all sports: casual and hardcore NFL fans, casual and diehard NBA fans. All sports of the four major leagues and of other sports. NASCAR, diehard, the casual fans. Pro golf, or now the Live Tour, casuals and hardcore fans. As much as I like to say I'm a hardcore fan for each and every sport, I'm not. Right? I wish I was, but I try my best to keep up on everything, from golf to the bowling world, pro bowling circuit, to tennis and of course basketball. But here I'm going to be talking about hockey. I should have done better in regards to promoting. Actually, that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So I do apologize, and I'm looking away from my main screen here actually, and actually I don't need to promote it. I was going to promote it on Twitter, but I'm also live on Twitter, so but I certainly can promote afterwards in regards to where people can watch live after the fact, and all that. So never mind, I don't need to be over there as much as I thought I would here on my laptop. Okay. So never mind there. But like I said, I want to talk about the NHL trade deadline, the Vegas Golden Knights as they are right now, what's going on in Vegas, but also the good with the bad, not all bad, in regards to Vegas, and certainly is interesting as you look at what the conferences and divisions look like and the race to the playoffs, right? Or Stanley Cup playoffs, and how everything's going to be going. Again, being a casual fan, since I was a kid up to 7 years ago, and being a casual fan of the sport, but also a team that I was linked with at that point was the Detroit Red Wings, because they were close to me. I mean, yes, also the Minnesota Wild, but Red Wings pulled me in more, I guess you can say, even as a casual fan then, and enjoyed my time as a fan of theirs. I learned about them, being part of the original six, learning about the history of the NHL from YouTube and otherwise, the rules and how their lottery system works for drafts and all that I learned at that time. So I'm learning in what was the NHL and what is the NHL now too. So try to be more and more. And I was also part of PSF for a short time, and was learning and getting to know the great team there that talks Golden Knights there for the media cast. But for me, through that short experience led me here wanting to do a podcast about the Vegas Golden Knights, wanting to talk about the NHL. Who knows? Maybe I should do one for the NBA and the Bucks / NBA. But for right here, right now, it's only going to be 3 separate shows. So I certainly enjoy it, and I enjoy being, I wouldn't say part of the media for the NHL, obviously not, but just being part of broadcasting in all sports. And I do appreciate that. And I appreciate for those that are watching this very first episode, like I said, For those that have watched hockey and NHL being the number one sport all their life, for me, is the NFL. Like, to me, the NFL is king. But to others, beyond Canadians, I say respectfully, beyond NHL and hockey is number one. And I respect that. I tried to play hockey when I was younger. I tried to try to make a team also when I was younger in hockey here locally, in regards to like high school, let alone younger, which just anybody can play, and everybody got minutes, sort of thing. But then again, back then I was also doing soccer, part of what was called KFC, literally, which actually was named Knights. What was it? Knights? Something like that, but I remember Knights, and that's ironic how that worked for me, being now fans of the Vegas Golden Knights NHL team in hockey. That was in soccer. But my point is, sorry, I'm squirreling it, but my point is I just want to share a little bit about myself for those that here in the hockey world that don't know me too well. Welcome to check out my other content here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can check out my bio, and it should be the link there. You're welcome to subscribe to the channel, all that if you haven't yet done so. But yeah, the NHL. You'll take a look at the standings. I'm looking at my phone right now, and we got the with the Eastern Conference and the Atlantic Division, and how that's setting up to be. I mean, I talk about the team that I used to be my main squeeze, my main team, the Red Wings. So I guess you can call them my ex. But still, the Red Wings, who I still somewhat follow, and I have some friends that are fans of the Red Wings. Shout out to them. And by the way, we'll be playing them today, actually. So that's interesting. But anyways, them being in that spot right now in the playoffs. If it ended today, you can follow this show on Twitter. I might as well show that if I can get to it here. Well, I guess I don't have it as a. But I do have a Twitter handle for this very podcast, and that's at DJK Vegas Golden Knights _podcast 06. So I'm actually gonna write that down here. Apologize for doing this on the sight unseen here. But yeah, look at how the playoffs look like, how it would look like now if ended today. And there we go. I might as well keep this up for a little bit, maybe even for the whole episode here for the very first one. Whether you're watching actually on X already, or because this is only obviously going to one of my 5 accounts on X that can lend you to this one. But yeah, so we're gonna be facing the Red Wings. Red Wings was my team. Right now they'd be in the playoffs. Big battle there in the Atlantic specifically. The Red Wings themselves. Learning about this point system, that was new for me 7 years ago, let alone still today. Not as confusing now, but still interesting. Not a bad thing, just interesting, right? Just because something's interesting doesn't mean it's bad. Also doesn't mean it's good. But in this case, it's not bad. It's certainly interesting, right? Might as well be my word of the day. And then we got the Metropolitan Division with the Rangers leading things there. In regards to record-wise and points-wise, again, the main thing looking at here is points beyond everything. But then again, we got the Golden Knights, a team that is in the top 3, being able to be locked in. But we weren't locked in facing Blue Jackets the other night, right? We weren't locked in these games where we should be winning and we're losing. We're not a bad team. We're also not playing Golden Knights hockey right now. And I know injuries is part of it, but I'm actually thinking past that. Should I? No. But I'm just saying I am, because it's more than just that. It's more than just injuries and people being out and people finally coming back, right? And even with Eichel coming back on the roster did not mean that, right? And Theodore come back doesn't mean it's fixed right away. It's a positive. They had their I would say moments in head you play there in the ice, but more so for this Golden Knights team, what we need to do is, or not we, they're the team. I'm the fan, but what they need to do, prepare better, coaching. I think that's the biggest thing. They need to do that better, and I think they can, and they have. And then from coaching, we'll come play on the ice. I almost said on the field, but on the ice, and that will grow from there. Also, for this podcast, hopefully to have guests moving forward. I'm looking for a co-host if people are interested. Anyone is interested. You do not. I repeat, you do not have to be a Golden Knights fan. You can be a fan of any of the 32. But we'd love to have a co-host, maybe even a savant, more of a savant than me, that loves hockey, lives and breathes it more than I do. Again, I'm trying to be more and more of a fan, and I do watch the Golden Knights all the time, obviously, and have, but I just wanted to share that as well. So we're looking at the standings here, and actually, as we should, we're talking about that one side, the eastern side, now the west side, right? We got the Stars, the top in the Central. You got the Canucks now, the top of the Pacific, and with the Golden Knights acting up and acting a fool, they now are out of that top three spot. They now are battling for the wild card, just as much as they could get back into that top three race. We don't get a turn around, we won't be in the dance, right? I know we're on the road to March Madness and all that here shortly in NCAA basketball, but the Knights won't be in the Stanley Cup playoffs if we don't turn around. I think the moves that we made here with the trade deadline, the NHL trade deadline, were exciting, to say the least, and somewhat interesting. But I think we need to I was going to say, we need to build upon that. And I think in regards to getting them equated into this roster and where we're going to, pluck in place and just see how vibes are, right? And go from there, and I think it's going to go pretty well. And I look forward to seeing how it all plays out. A lot of trades going down, of course, all over the NHL, beyond the Vegas Golden Knights. But specifically with the Golden Knights, it's beneficial, in regards to the players that we got. I mean, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Hold on, just trying to. I mean, come on. The biggest one being getting Anthony. Getting those players and being able to build upon from there. But still, like I said, no. I mean, and it's amazing to see the standings, how they were just a bit ago to how they are now. And it's interesting, to say the least, huh? So. But yeah, it's certainly something. Also, if you are watching either live on YouTube, live on X, welcome to leave a comment. Share your thoughts in regards to the trade deadline. Share your thoughts on the NHL team. Let me know what team is your team. What team is your team? And we can converse hockey now each and every week. I mean, because like I said, I'm getting more and more into hockey and enjoying it, not just as a fan, but trying to, in regards to media side of things. I've gotten to know actually a lot of good podcasters during my 7 years of fandom, but now creating this account, as you can see, still down there for Twitter, and just enjoying to getting to know lots and lots of more people in this hockey world. But no, the Golden Knights, our schedule is verboten. It's very interesting, and it's going to be a good stretch. Here we face the Red Wings, then we face the Kraken, a team that I always like to see the new teams, right? And then the Kraken being the 32nd team in the NHL, like Hawaii being the 50th state. So we got the Red Wings tonight here on the 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific, so 9 p.m. here local time for me, and then 9 p.m. local time. On the 12th, we got the Kraken, we have the Calgary Flames on the 14th. Let me continue out this month. We got the Devils, Lightning, Kraken again, Blue Jackets, Blues, Predators, Winnipeg Jets, and then the Wild there, which for me is always a blackout game because I'm in Wisconsin, so Valley Sports, Minnesota, all that. So, but who knows how we're gonna do? Us and the Red Wings actually technically now are in the same predicament in regards to playoff spots. I mean, looking at this schedule, or not schedule, looking at this standings again, we have the Stars, Jets, and Avalanche, Canucks, Oilers, and Kings, but then Predators and Knights in regards to the wild card race. Be on the other teams. The Wild, the Blues, and the Flames, and the Kraken in a way, about 12% chance to make the playoffs themselves, but still, Kraken fighting for the playoff lives. I'm talking about the Red Wings trying to hold on to their playoff spot on their end. Let alone any of these rest of these games, even with the Devils, excuse me, and otherwise. So I think we can win all these games. Are we probably going to? No. And like anything, it's they're having these games at home, but it's tough to really say, right? But as a fan, like I do for any of my teams, I always predict them to win. Like I do for the Packers every single year, every single game, unless I absolutely think we're going to get destroyed or lose. But that's very infrequently. I'm always a homer. I'm just being honest with myself, and that's just true. So for today's game, going up against the Red Wings, as I go back to the schedule here, let's go through the games between now and next week's episode that we have here from the 9th to the 16th. Well, today's game, we go up against the Red Wings. It's at home. I'm going to go with the Knights of the Red Wings 3-1. Then we don't play again till the 12th against the Kraken on the road. I'm going to go in L 5-4. Then the Flame, we're going to get a win 5-1. And then so we'll go 2-1 here in this little stretch. Not saying that's a good thing, I'm just saying that's how I see it in that regard. Get some much needed points there. Please no more games of overtime, let alone shootouts. I mean, it is what it is, and a winner is a win. However, we get a win, I guess. But in regards to how hockey works, how the NHL works with the scoring system, which again points is different, that I had to get accustomed to, and in the very beginning was a pain in the ass to me. But again, I respect it. It is what it is. But it's all about the points, just as much as about the wins. Wins matter too, but the wins also get to the points. It's one of those things. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a fun rest of the season. I was gonna go a little bit more in depth on some things, but I was kind of hoping to have some guests here, but they weren't able to make it due to me being late for 1 and 2. They had stuff going on. So hopefully next week, maybe 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. showtime, have a guest or two, or maybe even try now to co-host in regards to this podcast, let alone my other ones that I have as well. The NFL show coming back later, in April with the draft, and the wrestling show that's every pay-per-view that I do by myself. So, yeah, thank you for those that watch live, X or on YouTube. I will be promoting this as it will be on YouTube. I don't think it'll be on Spotify just yet, unless people want it to be. I already have my 2 other shows, so I don't know if I want to. I guess I wouldn't be paying extra because I already pay for having 2 or more shows. So technically, it's quote unquote free with the 3rd or more. You're just paying for 2 or more for Not for Spotify, but for, you know what I mean. The site I use for where you can go to Spotify, I'm forgetting it. RSS, I think it is. RSS feeds or something like that. But anyways, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Go Knights, and Sin City Nightlife. We're here and ready to rock and roll. Above all else, as always, take care.